June 19, 1861, he was born Wednesday evening in Calamba. It was a Wednesday evening in Calamba, Laguna, and his mother nearly died in the process. June 22, 1861, he was baptized by the parish priest of the Catholic Church in his own town, Father Rufino Colantes from Batangas, with Rev. Pedro Casañas as the sponsor. 1864, he learned the alphabet from his mother, Chidora Alonso Reyalonda. 1865, his sister Concepcion died at the age of 3. He shed real tears for the first time. 1865 to 1867, informal education by his mother and private tutors. His mother taught him how to read and write. As he grew older, his parents employed private tutors to give him lessons at home. The first was Maestro Celestino and the second Maestro Lucas Padua. Leon Monroy, father's classmate, taught Rizal rudiments of Latin. Uncle Manuel Alberto, concerned with his physical development, taught love for the open air and developed in him great admiration for nature's beauty, while Uncle Gregorio, a scholar, instilled into the mind of the boy love for education.
In the late 1877-1882, Rizal studied cosmology, metaphysics, theodicy, and history of philosophy. He continued his education at UST and finished a year in philosophy and letters after deciding to shift to a medical course. He made the decision for him to be a physician and be able to treat his mother's falling eyesight. Pablo Ramon, the father rector of Ateneo, whom he consulted, recommended medicine. While UST was under Dominicans, the rival of Jesuits that established Ateneo, Rizal remained loyal to Ateneo.
Rizal studies on Ateneo. Rizal enters at Ateneo on June 10, 1872. Jose, accompanied by Pasiano, they went to Manila to take the entrance examination on Christian doctrine, arithmetic, and reading at the College of San Juan de Letran, and passed them. His father was the first one who wished him to study at Letran, but he changed his mind and decided to send Jose at Ateneo instead. Father Magin Ferrando, a college registrar of Ateneo Municipal, refused to admit Jose because he was late for registration and he was sickly and undersized for his age at 11 years old. Ateneo was located in Intramuros, within the walls of Manila. He boarded in a house on Carabal Street, 25-minute walk from the college. The boarding house was owned by Titay, who owed Rizal family 300 pesos. Jose boarded there to collect part of the debt. Jesuit system of education. Jesuits trained the character of the student by rigid discipline, humanities, and rigid religious instruction. They heard Mass early in the morning before the beginning of daily class. Classes were open and closed with prayers. Students were divided into two groups, a Roman Empire and Carthaginian Empire. Rizal first year in Ateneo, 1872 to 1873. Rizal's first professor in Ateneo was Father Josepek. Rizal was placed at the bottom of the class since he was a newcomer and knows little Spanish. He was an external Carthaginians occupying the end of the line, but the end of the month he became emperor of his empire. He was the brightest pupil in the whole class, and he was awarded a prize, a religious prize, Rizal took private lessons in Santa Isabel College during noon recess to improve his Spanish language, paying 3 pesos for those extra lessons. On second year in Ateneo, 1873 to 1874, at the end of the school year, Rizal received excellent grades in all subjects and a gold medal. The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas, the first novel of Rizal which made a deep impression on him. Universal History by Cesar Cantu Rizal persuaded his father to buy him this set of historical work that was a great aid in his studies. On a third year in Ateneo, 1874 to 1875, Rizal grades remained excellent in all subjects, but he won only one medal in Latin. At the end of the school year, March 1875, Rizal returned to Calamba for the summer vacation. He himself was not impressed by his scholastic work. On the fourth year on Ateneo, June 16, 1875, Rizal became an interno in the Ateneo. Padre Francisco de Paula Sanchez, a great educator and scholar, one of Rizal's professors who inspired him to study harder and to write poetry. Rizal topped all his classmates in all subjects and won 5 medals at the end of the school term. On a last year in Ateneo, 1876 to 1877, Rizal, the most brilliant Atenean of his time, and was truly the pride of the Jesuits, graduated with highest honor. March 23, 1877, Rizal, 16 years old, received from his alma mater Ateneo Municipal the degree of Bachelor of Arts with highest honors. Thank you.
Naples, Italy. On June 11, 1882, Rizal reached Naples. This city pleased Rizal because of its business activity and its lively people and its scenic beauty. Rizal in Naples to Marseille. It docked at the French harbor of Marseille, where Rizal visited Chateau of the Eve, where Dante's hero of the Count of Monte Cristo was imprisoned. Barcelona, Spain. On June 16, 1882, Rizal's first impression of Barcelona was thought of as ugly, dirty, and its residents are inhospitable. Later, he changed his impression and liked the city. Filipinos in Barcelona, where some of his classmates in Ateneo welcomed him. And in Barcelona, Rizal wrote a nationalistic essay entitled Amor Patrio, which was his first written article on Spain. While living in Barcelona, Rizal received bad news about the cholera outbreak ravaging Manila and the provinces. And the sad news was that his beloved Leonor Rivera was getting thinner because of the absence of her loved ones. Rizal enrolled at the Universidad Central de Madrid on November 3, 1882. He took courses, medicine and philosophy and letter. Aside from the 2 major courses, he also studied painting and sculpture in the Academy of Fine Arts of San Fernando. He took lessons in French, German, and English under private instructors. On Saturday morning, he visited the home of Don Pablo Ortega y Rey, who lived with his son and daughter. Rizal then had a love affair with Consuelo Ortega y Perez, the daughter of Don Pablo. Rizal completed degree in Doctor of Medicine on 1884 to 1885. Rizal studied and passed all subjects leading to the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Rizal also finished his studies in philosophy and letter with excellent ratings. Rizal awarded licentiate in medicine on June 21, 1884. Rizal was conferred the degree of licentiate in medicine by the Universidad Central de Madrid.
1886. 24 years old, Rizal went to Paris, France to pursue his career as an ophthalmologist. He tried his skill in music and studied solfeggio, piano, and voice sculpture for a month and a half. October 1, 1885, assistant to Dr. Louis de Wecker. He studied medicine in Würzburg, Berlin, Vienna, and Paris, earning doctorate from Würzburg 1855 and Paris 1861. From 1862, he maintained a popular ophthalmology clinic in Paris. In 1867, he performed an enucleation of the eye of Leon Gambetta. His name is associated with the Wecker scissors, which are small, sharp-pointed scissors used for intraocular surgery of the iris and lens capsule. Dr. Jose Rizal, 1861 to 1896, martyr and national hero of the Philippines, completed his ornithological training under the professor of Louis de Wecker in Paris in 1885. Rizal stayed in Berlin, capital of Germany, to gain further knowledge of ophthalmology, to attend some lecture and its local university, to further his study of science and languages, to get familiar with the scientific Germany, to be part of the scientific community, and to finish his novel named No Limit Tangere. As Jose Rizal longed for his parents and his country, he wrote a poem, A las Flores de Heidelberg, on April 22, 1866. On July 31, 1866, Rizal wrote his first letter in German to Professor Ferdinand Blumentritt. Rizal heard that Blumentritt was interested in Philippine languages. Along with the letter was a book entitled Arithmetica. Delighted with Rizal, Blumentritt sent Gibbs books to Rizal. This marked the beginning of their long and frequent correspondence. August 6, 1866, sojourned in Heidelberg. Rizal was fortunate to sojourn in Heidelberg when the famous University of Heidelberg held his 5th centenary.
The founder of Singapore. On May 11, 1882, he left for Europe, boarding in another ship, Jhona. Steamer docked at the Colombo and sailed out and crossed the Indian Ocean to Cape Verde of Africa. On June 2, 1882, he arrived in the city of Suez, the Red Sea terminal of the Suez Canal.
1887 to 1889. On May 25, 1887, Rizal and Viola left Vienna on the riverboat to see the beautiful sight of the Navarre River. On June 27, 1887, he reached Rome, the city of Caesar. After a week, he preferred to return in the Philippines. On June 29, Rizal visited the Vatican for the first time. On October 1, Rizal began writing his second novel while practicing medicine in Calamba. In 1888, Change and Correction, he made some change in the plot and corrected some chapter. On February 1, 1889, Rizal pamphlet The Vision of Father Rodriguez, written under the pen name Di Masalang, was published in Barcelona to answer the friars' attack in No Limit Tangere. On September 30, 1889 to January 31, 1890, Rizal essay The Philippine A Century Hence was published in La Solidaridad in 4 series.
November 15, 1890, Rizal became a Master Mason in Lodge Solidaridad, in Madrid. 2 years later, he was awarded Master Mason in Paris by Le Grand Orient de France. On March 29, 1891, he wrote more chapters in Paris and Madrid and finally finished the manuscript. July 5, 1891, he left Brussels for Ghent. On September 18, 1891, the second novel came off press. His second novel came off the press. He donated the original manuscript and autograph printed copy to Valentin Ventura, the savior of El Filibusterismo.
Huwag mong isipin magbayan. Hangad ko rin, mailimbag na ang kalawang nobela. Nagmamahal Valentin.
February 15, 1892, Master Mason. July 3, 1892, La Liga Filipina. Jose Rizal organized the civic organization La Liga Filipina at the house of Doroteo Onjungco, in which one of the attendees was Andres Bonifacio, the founding father of the Katipunan.
September 29, 1896, 6 a.m. in the morning, Capitan Raphael is with Rizal's death sentence. He will be shot at the back by firing squad at 7 a.m. in the Bagong Bayan. December 26, 1896, in the actual trial in the Hall of Banners of Cuartel de España, he was accused of 3 crimes: rebellion, sedition, and illegal association. With a penalty of life imprisonment, death or rebellion and sedition, correctional imprisonment, and a fine of 325 to 3,250 pesetas for illegal association. The Death March and Execution of Rizal. The Death March began at exactly 6:30 in the morning. Rizal sported a black suit and vest with a black belt. Although his arms were tied behind his back, he walked serenely as if nothing would happen to him. Behind him was Lieutenant Tabiel de Andrade, his defender, Father March and Father Villa Clara. Marching behind with pomp and precision was a platoon of Spanish soldiers. Spectators lined along the street from Port Santiago to Plaza del Palacio, in the front of the Manila Cathedral, then to the Malecon Street, now called Bonifacio Drive, until the participant in the Death March reached Bagong Bayan Field. A mammal's crowd of Filipinos and foreigners was able to inch closer to the cordon formed by the Spanish soldiers to take a last glimpse of Rizal. Upon arriving at the Bagong Bayan Field, Rizal goodbye to Lieutenant Luis Tabiel de Andrade. The 2 priests accompanied him in the march, and finally to Josephine. Before proceeding to the designated place where Rizal was supposed to stand, Dr. Felipe Castillo, a military physician, checked his pulse and found it normal. Before the execution, Rizal requested to the commander of the firing squad that he be shot facing his execution, considering that he was not a traitor. The request, however, was denied as the Spanish officer had a standing order from higher authorities that Rizal should be shot at the back. The trumpet sounded again, signaling the commencement of the execution. The commander shouted "Fuego!" The gangs of the firing squad ran out in a row. Rizal slowly turned his back to the firing squad, faced the sea, and fell to the ground. The military band played the march of the Cadiz State national hymn, shouts of "Viva España!" Long live Spain, ni Puerto Ilustradores! Death of traitors could be heard all over the place. At exactly 7:03 in the morning, it was all over. Rizal has been executed. Rizal died, but he lives in the hearts of the people as a martyr the Filipino freedom. Capino et al. 1977. His leadership being direct, enlightened, liberal democratic, progressive, compassionate, and peaceful was the crowning glory of his service to the Filipino people. This kind of leadership that he manifested can be gleaned from his writings and personal examples. Here lies his excellence as an individual, a man with a purpose